I wanted to talk about how when a woman starts to embody and empower herself in her voice, in her sexuality, in her truth, she immediately starts to become demonized. In that society starts to label her overnight as the bad girl.
Welcome to the Awaken Your Shakti podcast. I'm Kate Kichavan, psychotherapist and coach, empowering women to awaken their Shakti and inner goddess. So much feminine wisdom has been lost through patriarchy, so I invite you, goddess, to remember your power through this journey with me.
In this episode, I wanted to talk about how when a woman starts to embody and empower herself in her voice, in her sexuality, in her truth, she immediately starts to become demonized. In that society starts to label her overnight as the bad girl. And throughout ages, throughout history, throughout our mythology, across so many cultures, we see classic examples of this, where, for example, from Adam and Eve, Eve is inspired by the fruit of knowledge, and she listens to the serpent, and she chooses the fruit of knowledge to expand herself and her wisdom. But yet, she is downgraded because of that choice to have access to more expansion and wisdom. Whereas Cleopatra, she is labeled as a seductress who seduced Julius Caesar, but the intellect that she had, the ability she had to rule her country, Egypt, and not only just her country, but merge these two continents together to create an even stronger society and world for herself and the people to come, often goes unnoticed. So I just want to bring this back to us as modern day women. I find so many of my clients who I work with finding themselves in situations where they're not feeling heard, or they're being compromised in some ways. They're feeling like they need to settle. They're feeling like others are walking over them, or they can't really be themselves. And I notice often on this journey of empowering them to find our voices, our truths, our dreams, and to ask ourselves, what is it that we really desire? You start to change. We women, we start to transform. We start to really rise from the ashes and fly out from the cage that we were locked in. And that's when I usually see how other people, external society starts to project onto them. Like, we are then projected onto for others' fears and insecurities and anxieties. And you are then often labeled as this bad girl or guilted in some way. And I want to remind you that it's these people who are insecure in themselves, who are hurting deep down in themselves, who end up hurting you. And at the end of the day, it has nothing to do with you, but them and their inner work and fears that they are too scared to face. And so in the moment, it's so easy to feel like it's you, feel like you're doing something wrong, or feel like you are responsible for the pain that they're going through or the situation that they're in. But everyone has choice. Everyone has power to change their reality, to do something about their lives if it's not working for them. And so this is not your responsibility to change or heal someone else or do the work for someone else. They have to want to do it themselves. They are the only ones who can heal themselves. And I want to go even more deeper in that so much of your energy, so much of your mind space is being given to these people who are projecting their insecurities onto you. But I want to ask you, or I rather want you to ask yourself, why do you keep attracting these kinds of people? Why are you in relationships or friendships with these people? And usually there's this deeper block of, oh, I don't think I'm worthy of healthy friendships or relationships. Or what I often hear is, I don't know if my dream friendship or relationship even exists. I don't think I'm worthy of having that. Or sometimes it's, I don't feel chosen or accepted by others, and therefore I find myself in situations, friendships, situationships, relationships where I am trying to prove myself, to feel accepted, to feel loved, and I have to work so hard to feel belonged, to feel loved. And so I want to invite you to ask yourself, why is it that you keep finding yourselves in this situation, in this toxicity? What is the core of it? And usually when you choose yourself, when you start to accept yourself, when you start to love yourself, and I don't mean beautiful baths and nail polish and I got my hair done. No, I mean letting yourself just cry out all of the emotion, the built up emotion, and letting your heart sink into that deep grief and emptiness and yearning and hurt, and looking at yourself in the mirror with the tears just running down your face, and just giving yourself so much love and not shaming yourself and not judging yourself, and realizing you don't have to compromise anymore. F this. You have the choice. And when you bring back your power, when you start to choose yourself, and when you start to unleash the inner blocks and destroy them, that is when your life is changed, is transformed.
So I want to know if this resonated with you. Do you feel like you are being guilt tripped and demonized and labeled as the bad girl for stepping into your power, for realizing, oh wait, this is not who I am? I don't want to be in this box anymore. If this is you, I want to hear all about it. So DM me on Instagram. Tell me about your experience. I want to connect with you. I want to hear and listen and support you. And as always, if you feel like another sister would be inspired from this episode, share this with her. And until next time, I'm sending you all the love and the wiggles and gentleness and love and mwah.